Greetings and welcome, everyone. It's All You Can Geek Gamecast, episode 492. I'm one of your hosts, Jim Gass, joined by Mike Sneedy.
What's up?
Corey Feinsod.
Annyeong.
And that was a good one. And Tony that just threw me off. And Tony Korganakis.
Yosh.
Yeah. Welcome, guys, and welcome, listeners and viewers, to 492 of the Gamecast. Man, it's been a week. Final Fantasy's finally here for some of us. Thank you, Amazon. I haven't gotten to play it yet, but it is here. It is here. So unfortunately, we will not be talking about that tonight. Thank you, Amazon, for all of us ordering. How do we all order from the same vendor, too?
Because it was cheap.
Well, it's cheap ass deal, man.
It was cheap, yeah, that's why I got it. Yeah. So yeah, they got us in the end, and I don't think it was based on the coronavirus. They can say it was, but it wasn't. I got stuff I ordered I ordered on Friday. I got it on Monday from Amazon, and it's not health related stuff. It's not.
I definitely think it was a supply issue from Square Enix. Something in the chain probably got affected.
It could have been. Anyways, tonight we've got a great topic: our top 5 N64 games. Now, Corey, I don't think you played much N64, did you?
No, I had an N64.
Okay,
I bought it at launch.
I was afraid that he couldn't contribute too much to this. We are going to do, and I will tell you this: we are going to do PlayStation, and we will do Saturn. Mike, I don't know what you can do. Yeah, I don't know what we can do yet for you on this. We're gonna figure that out because Mike didn't get to play those. This was a different time. Didn't have a lot of as many people that had the different systems. So usually, I had N64, but I got to play Saturn because Corey had it, so I was lucky there. And I was so infatuated with the PlayStation that I kept renting it from Blockbuster, so I played a lot of it.
I've never even seen a Saturn in person. I don't think.
I have one here. It doesn't work, but I have one in my closet. So actually,
was that Nick's? Or was that mine?
No, that's yours. The drive. Where is it here?
Well, I think the memory battery died, so we couldn't turn it off.
Well, it doesn't. Hang on, I'm gonna just unblur my background here. There we go, guys. And here is the Sega Saturn.
Look at that beast.
There we go.
It's there. So the problem is the CD player stops reading.
Mm-hmm.
So
I remember at one point, you couldn't turn it off because otherwise you'd lose your progress because you couldn't save games.
Yep.
So you had to play the entire game without turning it off.
Which is fine. Dragon Force Nonstop was the way we played it.
I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that did happen. The battery backup wouldn't work. I got a new battery for it, and then the CD drive stopped reading. Yeah. So I don't even know how I can fix that. If anybody knows that's listening to this, you can email us, podcast@allyoucangeek.net, and let me know because I'm good with hardware. Trust me. I can take things apart. I just don't know how to fix it.
I don't know how any of those old disc drive systems work at all now.
The PlayStation, you had to flip over and put it on its lid.
The original.
I mean, the PlayStations were always rough. Even when they were new, they kept.
Any of the base PlayStation models were always terrible. It was always the revision.
Yeah.
The PS1, the Slim model, the PS2 Slim was fine. PS3 Slim was fine.
Yeah.
But the base was always terrible.
Anyways, so we're gonna get into that topic of N64, and I said we'll do the other ones later, but we couldn't do it all in one night because there's just too many things to talk about. First things first, getting into what we've been up to, guys. Man, I had a nice busy week finally with games. I played through the entire playthrough finally of Resin Evil 2's Leon story.
Nice.
Leon, Action Hero Kennedy. I have never finished that game, believe it or not. I know the story. I do know the story. I've seen it. I know that thing, but I never finished the game. So when I got to the umbrella, nest, I was like, wow, this looks a lot like the movie. And then I realized the movie was based off the game, and I'm like, wow, this is really really good.
The movie with the same title is based off of.
Well, it was Resident Evil 1 though.
No,
but then I realized that they kind of combined Resident Evil 2 and 1 into one movie, and then 3 was Resident Evil 2, just with Mila Jovovich's character and getting rid of these main characters, because I'll get into that in a second. So I played Leon, and I realized the problem with these games is I really love these games. I love watching somebody play these games. Like Corey, I would enjoy watching you play Code Veronica. If I was playing Silent Hill, I would enjoy my friend Drew playing it. Yeah, but I don't like to play them. It causes me this anxiety thing.
Yeah, I totally hear.
Yeah, so when I finished Leon, I was like, I don't want to play Claire, so let me go through it. I literally watched minute for minute. I watched the entire playthrough of Claire. I did skip through the police station part because I was like, I've seen this. I know this area.
Nothing changes there.
Yeah. But it was really cool to watch somebody else play it and know what they were doing. And then I was like, so I got to see that whole story, actual full story. I've never had that full thing before. Did I freeze? Sorry. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to continue this right on to Resident Evil 3. And so I watched an entire playthrough of Resident Evil 3. This guy was not good. And I was... But it was
the
like
same guy you watched play Resident Evil 2?
I chose somebody else this time because I was like, let me watch somebody else playing. And there's no commentary on this. But the guy I found myself yelling at my TV. I'm like, fucking reload. He would go in the room and I'm like, fucking reload. What are you doing?
So he's not good and he didn't even have anything to say? No commentary?
His thing was supposed to be a walkthrough of the game. It was like one of the first walkthroughs that were launched, so he got all the clicks.
Were you like...
He dies. He dies like I don't know how many times in this walkthrough, and I'm just like, and every time, like, I don't know how many times I watched zombies pounding on a door, and then I watched him proceed to walk towards that door, and I'm like, dude, what the
Dude,
fuck,
the average
man?
gamer is terrible. Gamer is terrible.
I'm like, I was like, Jesus Christ, like, I really, like, I'm happy I got to watch that game. It looks phenomenal, but it's so short. Like, this guy died like a lot of times, and he was bad. There was times also he cut out where he probably died because he just jumped to the scene again. I'm like, okay, he probably re-edited that. And then, it took him 5 hours still with multiple deaths on standard. And it was just, it's a very short game. So I'm very happy I watched that playthrough of the game. Now I got that story because I never watched that. I never knew anything about Resident Evil 3. I didn't play it at all. It's a lot more action-packed than 2. Like, it's a lot more action-oriented. There's still some fright moments, but most of it's action. But yeah, man, I really got into this watching people play the game, but not Twitch. I don't want people talking to me while they play. I just want to watch them play the game sometimes. So I really enjoyed this, and I think I might go and watch Resident Evil 1 now, the remake. I could watch that again and really get that whole story. I'm in this Resident Evil kick. I want to watch the movie now. I don't know. It's like it's the time. Maybe it's the pandemic outside. Maybe that's helping. I don't know, but it's crazy. Like I really enjoyed that playthrough. So I enjoyed that. Playing was, like I said,
RE2 though. Like you didn't talk about
So okay. let me get back into this. Let me go back. So playing as finally playing Resident Evil 2, I think my jaw was down a lot. Like I was just like, wow, this fucking looks fantastic. Because there's scenes I remember, like in my head, I remembered. I'm like, I'm like, this looked really good in my head back when I played it. And then I looked it up online. I'm like, oh wow, they did a fucking amazing job. But in your head, you gotta give them credit back in PlayStation. Oh, yeah. Like they made that image in my head, like what they did in this game. Like I always thought, I'm like, wow, I always looked like never like that good, but looked pretty damn good. But no, it doesn't. And man, the police station though, they did that was so in depth what they did, and like the Umbrella Lab, like Nest, I thought looked amazing there. And I think they intertwined some what they had in the original game and what they got inspiration from the movie. I think they kind of intertwined that a little bit, which is good. And I don't know, I really, really enjoyed the gameplay. Holy crap. Not having the tank control, like, it was awesome. Like, the fluid control.
Game changer.
Yeah, like, the inventory management I don't like. I don't like yes, obviously you want to have short boxes so you have to decide, but I don't know. I just felt like it was too, okay, what do I bring here? Yeah, it's too restrictive. They seemed to fix that in 3 from what I saw. There was a lot more boxes available to you. But I really enjoyed playing the game. Like, holy crap. There's a lot of times I'm like, holy shit. I said that, I don't know how many times. I have a 7-year-old here. And it's just like, holy shit. She looks at him like, I'm sorry. I said a bad word. And then, in the end, I'm like, I think I yelled, Jesus fucking Christ, die already.
That's always a good one.
At that point, I'm like, Jesus. And what's crazy is I just watched Resident Evil 3 playthrough, and I think Jill says something very similar to that at the end of the playthrough for her. And it was just like, oh. And I don't mind talking about this story because it's been around for years. It's not a spoiler. They didn't really much. I never knew that Resident Evil 3 occurred before and after RE2, though. I never knew that.
Yep.
It's awesome. I also played Animal Crossing. I finally got that hooked up. And yeah, my gathering adventure has begun. I love the relaxed nature of fishing. I will fish constantly right now. I do, what I didn't like about the game at first, but I like because I'm playing other stuff, is because you can play other stuff with this game. It's like, you pick it up, you play it, you order some stuff.
You play 1 hour and that's it. Or 30 minutes and that's it. Yeah.
I ordered a new chair and what else did I order? I ordered something for outside, a bench. And I'm like, it'll be here tomorrow. I'm done. I'm done today. I'm done. And go and play. Damn. Go and play something else, and then so now, like I said, I was watching the playthroughs. Oh, I did a lot of watching. Like you're talking like 9 hours of watching somebody play a game I just did this weekend, and today included. I was working while kind of finishing up RE3, but man, like Animal Crossing is a perfect balance game to play multiple games with. Like it is that, it's a cutesy game. It's great because like I have a 7-year-old here who can actually watch me play this game and enjoy it. I will say, give you guys a story. My nephew is playing this game. He's 5, and he's playing this game and loving it. Like we were doing Zoom on Easter for the family, and my sister was telling me that he was Saturday night. He played the game. The game told him that he would have a new friend waiting for him Sunday morning when he got to the game. She said he couldn't go to sleep. He was so excited.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. And it was the bunny, the Easter, the bunny friend that shows up or something like that the next morning.
Yeah.
So when he saw the friend show up, he was just like crying in tears. He was so happy that he had a new friend in the game. Like it's just, especially in this day and age with like the being locked up and the kids can't play with each other that much. This game is like, he's loving it too. And this is a 5-year-old. It's not like the most in-depth game, but there is some depth to it. If you get into like our side of things, there's some like very rare things to get bug wise, fish wise. You know where the money's at. It's like, okay, it's like you start to kind of find that and build up. Like
Yeah, it's definitely awesome. I'm happy to hear that. Does Ario, like, has she watched you play it, or?
Yeah, she likes the cutesy characters. She hasn't given it a try herself yet though, but because I decided, like, I thought about making her the main of the town, but I'm like, nah, she's not gonna play. She doesn't mind watching me play, I'm sure, so I'm just gonna play it, and then she can just watch me play and talk to the characters, and so that was the goal.
The perfect thing about the game is that it's really awesome if you want to watch something in the background that you don't necessarily have to pay 100% attention to, and like you just play it handheld mode, because it's not like there's no timing other than like the fishing or something like that. It's just
I really thought that I could like maybe hand the controller off to her on occasion, let her play it that way.
Oh, yeah.
It's not that big of a deal. So that's what I thought. So yeah, those are my my new playthroughs. I think Doom might be coming up next with Animal Crossing because I can balance it. But Final Fantasy just came in, so that's I don't know. I really want to play Doom, but I also now heard it's not as good as 2016. That's what I was hearing. That's what I heard.
I heard it was better, but
they went too big. They went too big.
Okay.
But that's only from Giant Bomb, for those wondering. I was just listening to Giant Bombcast. And
fuck Giant Bomb.
I don't mind them. I like some of their views. Like, it's not like I'm listening to Jeff. I'm listening to like other people like Ben and them that were,
I hate most of the people in Giant Bomb. Just not hate. I just don't care for them.
Yeah. So I just like heard that they were not that impressed with the game, but
not impressed with them.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. Even
Sorry, I just
even Steven. All right. So that's really it for me. Mike, what have you been playing?
A little more Apex Legends, but obviously I told you guys, I think last week, that I stalled on MGS2. I just didn't want to bother with Raiden. But so then I looked for other stuff I was interested in Game Pass, and I just started Yakuza Zero.
Nice! Wow, that's awesome. I'm so happy you're playing that game. I'm like the happiest I've ever been that you actually picked up, like, back to back Metal Gear Solid 3 and Yakuza 0. Damn, this is a new mic.
Well, I mean,
Japanese games.
I mean, I used to, but like I'm expanding my horizons here because they're Game Pass and there's not other stuff to do. And the thing is, like, and this game is very Japanese. They don't even. This
is the spiritual successor to Shenmue.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I know that I was gonna miss the window for Shenmue, so I'm like, all right, I'll try something like this. And also, I was always interested in both this and Mafia as like a GTA alternative type of thing. But I feel like this is more different, so I'll probably like it'll just feel more unique to me. So I mean, I just started up, and I know this is, I think, a prequel, obviously, for something that's long going. So this will be like the second sort of like later released prequel that I am playing first, kind of.
Yeah,
bro.
It's a prequel though. It's before everything, so
it's in timeline order.
You won't get like the impact of the characters as much because it's new for you anyways. It should be impactful anyways. I guess like
so,
yeah.
So it looks like a funny, goofy type of game. It'll be fun.
When can I add Shenmue to your list?
Ooh.
When can I add Shenmue to your schedule then?
I mean, I was going to play the first two, but when I saw it was expiring on Game Pass, too soon for me to get through it. Then I'm just like, whatever.
That's when you picked up Yakuza. Yakuza is like the, successor to Shenmue. Everybody says so. But
I mean, I just started it, but I'll probably keep going with it. It seems interesting enough that I got the sort of premise that happened here, where it seems like you might be getting set up or something.
Cool.
So, so we'll see how that goes. Another experiment for me.
Yeah, cool. All right, Corey, what have you been playing?
Well, I've been trying to play Borderlands on the Xbox, but since we got this update, it's been like glitchy, really bad that I can't even play it because the frames are just all over the place. So unfortunately, I've not been playing any of that. Actually, just mostly been playing board games online. That's really it.
Okay. Cool. All right. Anything good?
I actually played a game with Tony last week.
Oh,
and
cool.
Some buddies played Ethnos and Smash Up. So
cool.
Good stuff.
Awesome. All right, Tony. Anything good?
Nothing new. More Animal Crossing, League of Legends. Just waiting for FF7 tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's installing right now for me.
Yeah.
It's two discs. I'm like, what is this?
It's 2 discs? Oh my shit! I didn't know that.
So we're back to that point in the generation.
I know. So, like, whoa, this is like
it's going retro. So we wanted you to swap discs at least once.
Yeah. It's like,
at least it's not 7 times or whatever the hell it was for 8.
Panzer Dragoon had 5 discs, I think.
Yeah. The worst part for me was when I messaged you guys saying like it arrived for me, I forgot that my delivery address on Amazon from August of 2018 was my parents' house. So because nobody knows where my house is and I wasn't locked into my house. So it's at my parents and I have no idea how I'm going to get that yet, but
I'll leave it outside.
Well, yeah, they come down to at least visit my grandmother. So I'm trying to keep my distance from my dad, but I know they have masks and gloves and they're EMTs. So they have the stuff they need.
Oh, that's your parents. I would trust that.
Yeah.
Don't trust your parents.
But so they're doing that. But my brother has to go there for something soon, so I'm trying to get him to get my game for me when he goes. So
yeah, I mean, I had to drive into the because like I usually just get stuff sent to my office, and I forgot because we ordered it so long ago. I forgot that's where I had to go to. I'm like, shoot, it got delivered. I'm like, but not to my house.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
I had to go drive.
I got the delivery notification. I'm like, awesome, and I'm like, wait, I went to my mailbox. I'm like, it's not here, and I'm like, oh no. So yeah. All right, let's get into the news.
Before we get into what listed, I didn't put something, and it was relevant to what you talked about. But apparently, the next Resident Evil remake is going to be Resident Evil 4.
That's what I'm getting on the news. I have it on.
It's on the news.
I have it.
I didn't. Oh, my bad.
Very bottom. Yep.
More details emerge about that actually is what I have linked in the news because I mentioned it in our chat on Discord. But
might as well just keep that train rolling. I mean,
it's been corroborated. Now this game's been redone. It's on every system essentially.
I mean, it's been
Corey, you got to ask for Code Veronica, man.
Of course. I can't wait for that. I mean, they got to do it. I think I've played Resident Evil 4 on 3 systems.
I played it on 3. I played it on
GameCube, PlayStation
Wii,
2,
and
I think Xbox.
PlayStation 4 or 3, something like
PlayStation 2, or was it PlayStation 3? Yeah, I think it was on PlayStation 3.
Yeah, it got ported
everywhere.
Basically.
Yeah. This is a game when I mentioned it before they were going to do this. This is one of those I'm going to play because I never actually played through this game. So I played it, but I never played through it. So I'll play this one when it comes back out. This will be a 2022 release window. This has been corroborated by a bunch of sources now. Apparently, the former head of Platinum Games, is going to be working on this, as well as some of the Resident Evil remake, Resident Evil 2 remake team, and Devil May Cry 5 teams. So, couple different teams working on this game for Resident Evil 4 to make it.
Yeah, it really makes me happy to hear because, like, unfortunately, Resident Evil, even the original Resident Evil 3 was kind of like a quick and dirty, like, not true sequel in the sense that they used a lot of assets that they created for RE2 and just like made a couple new assets for RE3. So even back then, RE3 wasn't as well received in the current remake. I think 3 is definitely a downgrade compared to RE2 remake. But I'm happy that they're going to be, throwing their full weight behind RE4 remake, because that's my favorite Resident Evil, like hands down. Even though it's like the least like true Resident Evil, because it like goes a little way
from
right. It was a big departure from like the horror and more into that. I mean, it's still horror, but like it's dipping more into like actiony horror and stuff like that.
And moving away from the pure zombie as well.
Right, exactly. Yeah. It's more like actual bioweapons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But, I'm excited. Cool. Can't wait.
Yeah, it looks good. XCOM has a new game, Chimera Squad.
Yep, 10 days. Or 9 days, whatever it is.
April 24th for $10 at launch.
Yep.
It's on Steam.
Gears Tactics is in like a week or two as well.
Wow. Wow, that looks good too. Like I said, I was really excited for that game.
I'm super excited for Gears Tactics.
So this is a completely side story, like its own game, Chimera Squad. So interesting. There's the NASCAR. The NASCAR driver thing we mentioned on the movie cast. Kyle Larson suspended for racist language. Actually, he's been
fired.
Indefinitely indefinitely released from his contract or something like that. I forget how they worded it. So yeah, he's fired. All of his sponsors has dropped him. He's got no sponsors anymore. So you can't hire him and drive a car because you don't have any sponsors, which you can't drive a car then for. I guess some good news that comes out of what we're doing right now with this pandemic, unfortunately, some good news is that it looks like WWE 2K21 is not going to hit us. And
it's the other epidemic, WWE. Games.
2K20 last year was so bad. We were talking about it in the podcast. Like, people were making fun of like the glitches in that game. Like, there's videos out there where people are clipping. The ref would be clipping through people, and you would just fall through the ring. It was the character models.
Skin were loading.
Yeah, the character models were god awful. It needed a break so badly that it looks like finally 2K has decided to take some of this feedback and work on it for another year. And that's a good thing. And I thought I'd put it on here for news. It's a rumor right now, but it looks like
we're going to talk about N64 games. There were some really good wrestling games on N64.
NWO Revenge.
Yes, that was fantastic. It didn't make my list, but that was like right there.
It might be clearing some. I don't know.
We might hear about it.
I played that game to death. Like,
I don't even like wrestling, but I love that game.
Yeah,
I don't even like wrestling, and I love that game.
Yeah. I would play that for hours at Buddha's house, like crazy. Like I would just sit there with
like me and Eric, you would play the 99-man brawl or whatever it was,
Rumble.
Yeah, Royal Rumble. Yeah, and just like put in max characters and just fucking like challenge yourself to like decimate everybody using the original characters we got or something like that.
Yeah, it was amazing. So I mean, this is what they have to return to. The wrestling games have gotten terrible. Let's see what else.
Tried to make them more sims, and it's like wrestling's not a sim sport. It's not. So stop making it like realistic.
Let's see. If you have a PlayStation account, you can get a free Uncharted Collection right now.
Journey.
Journey. Yeah, interesting. So, that's going to be free until May 15th. You can get the whole Uncharted Drake's Adventure. Not whole, but...
The collection. It's like 1, 2, and 2.
1, 2, and 3. Oh, I thought it was 1, 2, and 3.
1, 2, 3.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, it's 1, 2, and 3. So you get 1 through 3. You don't get 4, but that's okay. That's pretty cheap anyway.
You'll get it at some point if you really want.
Yeah. So, and that's it for the news, guys. We have...
Oh yeah, there is that the Cyberpunk news that I put in the general chat. That apparently Cyberpunk is done. So I don't think it seems like it won't get delayed. However, then they talked about the DLC that it's going to be as big or bigger than Witcher 3, which is a lot. So we'll see if that actually happens on any sort of timetable. But so I think we might actually get this one.
I think so too. I think so too. They've been.
They also said that
they got delayed a
DLC
lot
before the release of the game, and that there'll be no less than Witcher 3.
Yeah, which is interesting. So it's gonna be huge. This game's gonna be huge.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah,
definitely.
That's
good. Something we know is coming at the end of the summer. That's great.
Yep. So, all right. Let's see what we got. Oh, we have our topic now. Top 5 N64 games, guys. Let me get my list open here before we get started. I usually write my stuff down before I get there. I'll kick us off, though. Oh, my God. Did I just delete the whole thing? Oh. No, I didn't. Okay. Number 5 for me, guys. Wave 64.
Wave
Race.
Wave race.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, my
All I heard
computer
was
decided
64
to.
hits. It's like that doesn't.
It could
vary
be
that much.
anything. Wave Race 64 for me was like I would hours. I mentioned last week on my top 5 games for the SNES was F-Zero. The reason why Wave Race makes this list for me at number 5 was the amount of hours I spent trying to overdo that game. No, to overdo the stunts. To see if I can do a quadruple flip off of that like second wave in the first stage, and like it was past the point of points. Like they didn't even recognize it as a move, but I was trying to do it over and over again. So or an extra barrel roll, in the barrel roll thing. Like I loved playing that game nonstop.
It would make an honorary mention for me just because like I love that game. Like it was so cool because it's like you Nintendo has these crazy ideas where like nobody makes like a wave racing like let's make a game at it and like let's incorporate a stunt system. And this was like I don't want to think it was like too after like Tony Hawk or anything like that. So it wasn't like they were ripping off of it. It's like what can we do instead of skateboards?
Was it before Tony Hawk?
Let me think. Keep talking. I'll look it up.
Was it in a launch game?
It was near launch. It was near launch. So I think it was around Tony Hawk.
It might have been before because Tony Hawk was also on the N64.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I know everyone remembers it as a PlayStation game, but it was on the N64 too. So
Yeah. Well, they remember it because the music was better on PlayStation.
Oh wow, yeah. So Wave Race 64 was released September 27th, 1996. Tony Hawk Pro Skater was September 29th, 1999. So 3 years later.
Yeah, and this was like a stunt game. It was so awesome. And it looked amazing back in that day.
Yeah.
The water was crazy. Yeah.
The water effect was incredible. You never saw that in a game.
The physics too, the water physics.
Yeah, yeah. It brought something new to the table. So yeah, that's why that made my list. That's my number 5. Mike, what was your number 5?
My number 5 is Star Wars Rogue Squadron.
Hey, that's my number 5 too.
Nice.
Yeah. So Star Wars for me, especially back then, this was after the reissue around that time. One of the things that I liked was all the different types of ships and the sky or space combat. And Rogue Squadron really just like dug you into all of that. And it's sort of like the mental rules about what I know about that the A-Wing is quick and maneuverable, but it doesn't take a lot of hits. The Y-Wing is slow. The workhorse of the Rebel Alliance drops bombs and stuff and has lots of armor, but it can't move too well. And then the X-Wing is like, the Mario, the all arounder. So so that's how I learned it. This game, and it was just, and it looked great for the time, like great.
Oh, it looked amazing. Especially you got the RAM pack.
Yeah, this was one of the first games I think with the expansion pack compatibility, unless that was one of its sequels. I'm not sure, but either way, it was just a great franchise, and this was the start of it for me.
Cool.
It's just great Star Wars space combat that's like sort of defines the space combat in that whole universe for me.
Yeah, Tony.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
and that's what I was gonna say too. Like, I would. Thinking back, like, it was hard to come up with this because I knew I wanted either this or Shadows of the Empire on my list. Because those two Star Wars, right?
Yeah, right. It was right there on my phone. It was like it's the next one on my list. Yeah.
But the thing is, I remember Shadows of the Empire was playable back in the day, but today I don't think it holds up. Like the controls are just.
That was like a launch title.
Yeah,
too,
it was a launch. It was like pretty close to launch.
It was launch.
I mean, that was sort of like planting the seeds for Rogue Squadron because it did have that boss level.
And that's what I was gonna say because. When I thought about it, I was like, the best levels in Shadows of the Empire were any of the vehicle levels, like the Hoth level, the space battles, where you played as the Outrider. So I was like, no, like that was great. Don't get me wrong, but like Rogue Squadron was what perfected like that aerial combat. Like, we're not gonna mess with this janky third person, like whatever. We're just gonna embrace
levels.
Right, yeah, super long levels, like terrible. Like, oh my god, I remember some of those boss fights being cheesy, but Rogue Squadron was just amazing. Like from start to finish. I had a really good story, like, the ships you played, the missions, like, back in the day, I didn't always go for, like, completionists and stuff like that, but my brother and me, we would take turns trying to get, like, I forget if there was, like,
where they
like
start?
Bronze, silver, I forget what it was exactly, but there's some ranking system where, like, like, the thing is, like, too, it wasn't just like, hey, like, play this level and get a high score. It's like, play this, I think, I could be wrong, but I remember them saying, like, like some levels were better suited for different ships and stuff like that, where it was like you really needed to master this one ship to even like get this high level score, and it was kind of a challenge because you're like, well, shit, I don't really want to use the Y-wing because it's slow and clunky and stuff like that. But it was like, it's the best bomber, and that's the way I'm going to beat this level the fastest, stuff like that. So yeah, Rogue Squadron, and just eventually the Rogue Leader on GameCube, which is one of my favorite games on that system too, and that was a launch title. So.
Okay. Corey, number 5.
My number 5, I'm assuming is going to be much higher on everyone's list, so I'll just mention it. It's Mario 64.
Yeah, you can just mention that.
Yeah. We'll put a pin in the discussion on that one.
Put a pin in that.
I'll just say that it's not higher on my list just because I'm not as big of a fan of Mario as some other people and stuff. And although it was groundbreaking and everything, I just was never as into it. But I definitely think it's a great game.
And I get that too. It's gonna be somewhere maybe for me,
listen,
but
you guys. I know you're both Sonic fanboys. I get it. It's fine. You can be by. It's.
I got one
fun.
Blue.
Yeah. You can't put Mario.
You can always.
I'm grooming my kids. My kids are.
You can't put a Mario game on your list out of.
But we're playing the Sonic and Mario Olympic games. They always pick Sonic or Tails and Knuckles.
I'm about to get probably people yelling at their whatever they're listening to us on right now with my number 4, because it is only number 4, and that's Ocarina of Time.
Ooh.
Yep. Again.
All right.
You should just put a pin in this because I'm sure we're going to talk about it later.
Yeah. Didn't even make my list.
I will say the reason why it's not higher on my list is because the other games were so much more.
You love Link to the Past. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and Link to the Past is my favorite Zelda game. Yeah. So I've said this numerous times. It's not like it's you guys should expect it from me. I did love this game a lot. It's awesome, but the games I'm mentioning 3, 2, and 1 are just more replay and better. They're just more fun. Not that Ocarina of Time is not fun. They're more fun. All right. Mike, your number 4.
My number 4, we actually just kind of mentioned. That's WCW versus NWO Revenge.
Yes.
Nice.
That was an honorable mention for me if we did them. I love that so much.
That game is so good.
The first one, WCW versus NWO World Tour, came out a little before that. And this is its sequel. This one it's just a lot better.
Improvement in every single way. And I remember anyway.
Yeah, and this game sort of got me into real wrestling at the time.
I got into WCW from this, yeah.
Yeah, and it sort of taught you. It's the funny thing is it's a very specific snapshot of time within the actual history of real wrestling that it represents. But for that time, it showed you there was factions. You could set up like who was rivals with who. People would interfere based on those factions.
Yep.
You had a very
was it like NWO Red and NWO Black or something?
Yeah, there was NWO Red and Black. So like Raven's Flock. Yeah, and then just WCW.
I mean, this was like the only time WCW was ever more popular than WWF.
Yeah, it had a little run there. Yeah, but so like I got to know all these characters, and then you could also customize all of their clothing and stuff too.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, and it had. You could grab weapons out of the crowd. That's
right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Sprite based too, man. Holds up.
Yep.
Yeah, no, the game and detailed move sets. Some moves that you don't even see them do in like modern wrestling games. They couldn't pull them off, and it was just real fun. It had the style. I mean, the opening sequence actually was really detailed. There was a lot going on there, and I thought that was kind of just like mind blowing to watch this as a kid. It's like, all right, this is the world of wrestling. Let's get into it. WCW, here we go.
Yeah. This is developed by a Japanese publisher, by the way. Developer.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Huh. It's so good. I'm looking at images right now while we're talking about it.
I can still. There's this one stage that we always used to play on, and I can still remember the theme. The stage, I think it was Starcade or whatever like that.
Yes, yeah.
I can still hear that right in my head, like right now. Like that's it, because we played the Battle Royale mode or whatever it was, like all the time on that stage.
Yeah, so.
It's a great 4-player game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah. That's the best part about that. Yeah, that was a 4-player game. All right, Tony, your number 4.
Let's see. My number 4 was the original Smash Bros.
Okay.
Just because, back then I just remember, like, this is before I was, like, too big a Nintendo guy. Like I was a Nintendo guy, but like I had the N64, my brother had the PlayStation. It was like one of those things where like we just would get the games that we wanted to play and share them and stuff like that. But I remember I was like, what is this, a fighting game for Nintendo? And I remember picking up and looking. I was like, that's kind of weird. I don't know. But then I saw the commercial for it on TV. If you guys remember the original commercial where they have like these
because
costumes.
that song is
they're basically like big ass mascots.
Yeah, exactly. That song was such a good commercial. I was like, you know what? Let me ask for this for my birthday or whatever it was. And I got that, and my friends and I would just play it all the time. Like I remember even a couple times like for sleepovers and stuff, where you do like 99 stock battles, which is crazy to think about. They would last like an hour and stuff like that. Items were set to max like frequency and stuff like that. But back in the day, we just like had fun with it. And Pokemon was like the next big thing. So like everybody wanted to be Pikachu, and like I remember like seeing some of the characters like Captain Falcon from F-Zero, like it was like that wasn't like a super popular title. It was like okay, or like Nest from Earthbound, we're like okay, like that's cool and stuff like that. And then little did I know back then, I think it was 16 or so back when that came out, that it would be like lead to such a, I think the best selling fighting game franchise in the world. So
yeah, definitely cool. Corey, number 4.
My number 4 is 1080 snowboarding.
Ooh,
yeah, that's good.
Just right there with yeah.
Was that near launch?
No,
it was a little bit later.
Yeah,
it was a little bit later, but I just remember just having a lot of fun with this one, playing multiplayer with my brother and just doing all.
Haywood.
It was just good. Like, I really, that was like when snowboarding was really big. Everybody wanted to do snowboarding. It was.
Corey froze. Not me. That wasn't me.
Oh, I thought it was you. I was like, wait.
No.
For a second, I thought my internet went out for a second.
It's contagious.
No, my Wi-Fi just switched over to my 2.5 gigahertz, whatever, 2.4. Anyway, so yeah, just a great game. So yeah, that's my number 4. 1080 snowboarding.
Cool. All right, let me see. Number 3 for me. Yeah, Mario Kart 64.
Honorable mention.
I think that was my number 3 also.
Still to this day, in my opinion, the best Mario Kart. It's my favorite battle mode. It's got my favorite. It's my favorite racing game. I think Mario Kart nowadays is fine, but I think it's gotten a little bit too. It's not as. I don't know. I like the simplisticness of Mario Kart 64 and the improvements that it did on Super Nintendo.
Did they fix the battle mode yet for this?
I love.
Yeah.
I still say that this is the best battle mode, Mario Kart 64.
Well, this is probably the battle mode I played the most.
Yeah, this is my favorite battle modes to play. This is
probably I played this Mario Kart version the most out of any Mario Kart.
This one is my favorite Mario Kart. It's my favorite Mario Kart, without a doubt. And I just love this game. The shortcuts in the racing mode. Again, back to shortcuts.
Split screen.
4-player split screen. We used to play. The battle mode by itself was just hours upon hours. I don't even know. There's more hours played in that than probably most of the games I've played nowadays together. So that's unbelievable. That's my number 3. Mike.
My number 3, and honestly, I could have put this like lower too, but it's getting a little bit of a boost based on influence and impact. Not as much gameplay as game time, I think, as my other games, but we mentioned it already. Mario 64.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
My number 3, just because the 3D world there of exploration and this may be, I don't know if this was the first game, but the hub world idea, like that changing hub world that's like your home base, that like there's still stuff to explore and then it sort of changes as things go on. And I just love that whole idea, just going back to the castle and exploring it and have it changing in subtle ways. There's a few hidden stars here and there in it too. And then also the multiple sort of like objectives, really, where you can just do the bare minimum, or you can, find the other stars. And so and replay the same levels. So you got a lot of like, time out of limited like areas, but it worked out well. So, but really just when you compare this game to other like 3D platformers in a similar time, even like years afterwards, it's not even close. It's not even close. Like this one, you can actually go back and play this, and it's pretty good still. Yeah. Like the other ones, like no, you can't do that. So Mario 64, obviously one of the genre-defining, like era-defining games, and it was
No, it
it's still
seemed like every
it's- it-
time a Nintendo system came out, like they had a Mario game that was just
I mean-
beyond, like way ahead of its time. Even
and it's still probably my favorite Mario game.
Yeah, I can totally see that.
I'll be talking about it shortly, but Tony, you're number 3.
My number 3, see, the top 3 are all really close, and number 2 and 3 especially, they can be interchangeable, but without drawing it. My number 3 is Goldeneye, and I'm sure we'll hear about it a little bit more, but I'll just say really quickly, like that game, in my opinion, really pushed first-person shooters, which was previously, pretty much a PC-only experience, onto consoles, and, led the way for other games like Turok or, Time Splitters, and then obviously Halo into Call of Duty, which is, insurmountable in terms of like popularity and stuff like that. So that's all I'll say for now, because I know we'll be hearing about it.
We'll go back to it, just like Mario here. Corey, your number 3?
my number 3 was Mario Kart 64.
Oh, that's right. All right. Where are we at? Number 2 now. Mario 64 is my number 2.
Yep, mine
again,
as well. So I'll talk about it.
All right. Yeah, going back into a game that feeds that creative part of me, like in terms of not just exploring for the stars, but also exploring for level hacks. I don't know why I was so big into this back when I was that age. Like there was ways to just skip entire sections of levels in this game if you knew how to get through a certain area, like sliding down a ridge.
Yeah, and like
jumping.
kicking, and stuff like that. Yeah, bouncing, yeah.
And there was ways, and I just love that aspect of this game. The depth. Not only was there a game to just play straightforward and beat, there was this subtle stuff like trying to find every crevice of secrets within this game. It's like a game that I'm hearing the rumors about Switch remake. I really hope, my mind went to Resident Evil 2. I know they're different games, but I'm like, wow, Capcom did an amazing job. If Nintendo does this for Mario 64, I'm probably gonna cry. And I want to play this again. I want to play this again. I'm ready to play this again now. I want to remake.
It was kind of redone,
Tony,
remastered, right? On the
There's a 3DS or DS. Yeah.
DS version.
Yeah, it was a little bit, but that's handheld. I want to play it on my TV. So
Yeah.
the way I remember it. Tony was number 2. Mike, we can all go around and talk about this because Corey didn't really mention it much in 5, but
Yeah, but for me, I mean, this is one of the things where I just remember because I was a teenager now, and I always liked video games as a kid, obviously, because it's just that's the kid thing to do. But I remember being beginning to become a young man or whatever like that, and just being damn, it's I can't wait for this freaking system, Nintendo 64.
Yep.
Because the thing is, I got a hand-me-down NES. Super Nintendo, I didn't even know existed. It was just hey, Christmas present for you and your brothers. Oh, what the heck? Super Nintendo, what's that? But N64 was I remember getting Nintendo Power. They're talking about it all the time. They're teasing this. I just remember coveting this game. I remember going to Toys R Us to play a demo, waiting in line just to play a freaking demo of this game, and it just blew my mind.
Yeah.
And I think, I even just from the intro sequence where it's just you play with Mario's face, just in right off the bat captures
right.
This is different, this is 3D, and this is so mind blowing. And I remember even my parents, the first night we got the N64, my parents were watching me and my brother play this, and they were just mesmerized by the graphics, which I thought was interesting because previously I never really cared about video game stuff, but they're oh, it looks really good and stuff like that. But anyway, back to the game, it's just Mike had said, the hub world idea where it's just hey, here's Princess Peach's castle. You gotta jump into these paintings to go to these worlds to collect power stars to fight Bowser and rescue Princess Peach. It's what the heck? That's so crazy.
Anytime there's a large painting in a video game, I jump into it.
Yeah, just to see if you can interact with it. Yeah. I guilty the same way, but it was just so awesome because you had these huge open worlds. I mean, at the time, open vast worlds. Where it was man, you can't even see the other side of the stage, and it's the exploration of in 3D world. And I mean, the camera, the movement, it was just. Mario was freaking a ninja in that game, just the triple jump, the long jump, the crouching slide.
He had a lot of moves. I'm not sure how many of them were practical, but he had a lot.
Yeah, of moves. I had a lot of moves, and honestly, today, Jim's talk about the remake. I'm just waiting for it so bad because this is the game that really pushed 3D technology to the forefront. And was hey, here you go. I'm not saying this is the first 3D game, but when you look at some of the early 3D games, you're all right, this is fake 3D. It's this is bam, real 3D. And even flying with the what is it, the winged hat or whatever.
The winged hat,
that.
yeah, the winged hat.
I remember just once you beat the game, you can unlock it on Peach's castle's rooftop
I used to
or
fly
whatever.
across the stage.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just spend like 10, 15, 20 minutes just flying around the castle because it's just so fun.
I would play
to move
music
it in that game.
I would play music and fly around. Yep. That's
Yeah,
what
just flying around and stuff like that. So I was just good game, great game, and awesome to see.
Corey, anything you want to add? Because I know you just mentioned it real quick.
No, I mean, you guys pretty much covered it all, and just the thing I wanted to say is, mentioning Toys R Us, like I remember getting the little slip of paper for the system, going up there and getting it, and waiting in for like the little, like they had a little area that you had to redeem it, and then they hand you the box, and it's like, oh man, that's like my memory of getting the Nintendo 64.
Fun fact, this was not the first game I owned for N64 because they were out of stock on it. I had to get Cruising.
Yeah, same here. Yep.
I had to get Cruising.
Ooh, you got Cruising? I got Pilot Wings instead, and I told my mom, I was like, Mom, no. Like, let's find a way. And my mom came through. She's like, all right, don't open it. I'll figure something out. And like she came back like a few hours later. She's like, here you go. I'm using Mario. I was like, you're the best.
Yeah, I had to wait to get mine.
Yeah, I've actually just been like we've been converting old VHSs to like actually onto this computer's hard drive, and I saw that I got I haven't seen this Christmas yet, but I remember at the time I actually saw 94, where I didn't realize that 94 is when I got the Genesis, so I got that pretty late. But because of that, I recall I was afraid to ask for the Nintendo 64. It's probably just a year or two later. I'm like, I can't get this. But like I said, like I've actually had dreams about what it would be like to play this game, because I knew about it, I saw about it. But my brother, being less, I guess less
shy,
he full on asked for it, and we got it. I'm like, Jesus Christ! But yeah,
you better.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. Where are we on? Number 2 is done. Number 2 from Mike.
We mentioned it before, but Super Smash Brothers. For me, this was at the time like one of the first like sort of party games with like my friends, because we had to be around 12 at this time or something. So we were going over and to play stuff together a little more frequently at this age, and this was like the perfect party game, really. Like I hardly ever played it really. I mean, I did play through it by myself a little bit, but it was either with my brother or with 3 other friends. It's and again, like I remember that commercial so vividly. Every time I hear that song, which apparently it's on the BGR playlist right now, so I hear it all the time. and I think about it, Smash Brothers, in that commercial every.
Yeah, whenever I hear that, that's the same. Whenever I hear that song, because I'm not saying like obviously that song was popular before the commercial, but like
it's an old.
I correlate the same things now. It was like as soon as I hear like the song, I just
Smash Brothers and the giant like mascots beating each other up.
Yeah, and I talked about it earlier, but one of the things that like just is crazy to think about, like this first game had like 10 characters.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot.
10? Yeah, or 12, I think, after the secret characters, and like Luigi was a clone basically, and Jigglypuff was half a clone of Kirby. But it's just crazy to think that this came from like 12 fighters to like 80 now in Ultimate. Just
But what's funny is most of the core mechanics were there from the start.
Yeah.
It's exactly. Not very different now, and I think Samus was my main back then, just because I cheaply shot the charge shot while my friends fought on the other side. But
that's strategy.
I loved it, and I put a lot of time into that game, so it's my number 2.
All right, Corey, number 2.
My number 2 is Zelda. Obviously.
Oh wow, interesting.
Yeah, I mean, Ocarina is I think, like one of the first games that like really blew my mind on what you could do with. Obviously, you had Mario and stuff, and I was like, but again, I was not as a big fan of Mario, but like taking a 2D game and putting it into 3D and having it so colorful and stuff, it just I just have a lot of memories with Ocarina on this Nintendo 64, riding that horse, and that's probably the one Zelda game that I think I played the most, because like the other ones I think were really short. And this was short too. I mean, they were all really short games back in the day, but this one I felt it seemed more epic for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, I'll talk about it because you probably guessed it. This is my number 1 game, but I remember, when I got the N64, like Mario was definitely like the thing I dreamed about. And don't get me wrong, I loved a lot of games after that. But after Mario came out, I remember like that's what Nintendo Power did. They just hyped up like you know the next big, and they knew it was going to be Zelda. They knew it.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing was like I liked Zelda. Don't get me wrong. Like I played Zelda 1 and 2 on the NES. Never beat them as a kid. I was just like, okay, those are fun games, but never beat it. Links I passed with the one I finally beat. And I was like, yeah, this is a great, awesome game. But there's something about like seeing it in 3D.
Yeah.
I just remember coveting that game and being like, wow, this is going to be so awesome. Just because, like, it was like, and the thing is, I remember the joke was even back then, it was like, it kept getting delayed. They're like, oh, Miyamoto delayed it again. Just like, damn, let's release this game finally. And I remember, like, when they finally did, I think I was just, like, getting, like, my license or something like that, or learning to drive. And I just remember, like, always going to the mall to, like, you know, find out if like there's any more news. Other magazines had like more snippets of information and stuff like that because I only had Nintendo Power, you know, so I didn't have like Game Pro or whatever other EGM and stuff like that. But just, I mean, just from the boot up, the start sequence of that game, like you knew it was like going to be something special. And just the whole thing from like the time travel aspect, because like it starts out with like, oh, just go do these 3 things like as a kid, and like, oh, everything's all happy, like, you know, it's a great time to be alive in Hyrule. And it's just like, okay, cool, you collect those things, you pull out the Master Sword, oh no, things went to hell. And you just step outside of the Temple of Time and it's just like, what the fuck happened in like 10 years or, you know, whatever the heck it is. And it's just like, you know, it's kind of like the Link to the Past where it's like the light world and the dark world, but this is just like, yeah, things are bad. The hero of time disappeared, and just things went to shit. Ganon, you know, took over, and it's like, oh fuck. But the story was just really awesome. The music was amazing. You know, like Corey said, like the part where you finally get Epona on the horse, and you're just in Hyrule Field, like just again, just like the Mario thing. I would just remember just running around the field. Yeah,
the iconic song, the iconic songs with the directional C button.
Yeah,
I mean all of that, the ocarina. I mean just calling your horse, and there's so many iconic moments of this game. It wasn't higher up on my list because I had more fun playing Mario Kart, Mario, and obviously GoldenEye. But you know, now this game was fantastic. It's a great Zelda game, but you know, for me, but it's like unbelievable the change of like adult Zelda going to adult Link, you know, growing up in that world, and then like it's unbelievable. Like the world changes as you age. It was in the temple, and it was awesome. Like I remember that part. It was like it sticks. There's certain things in that game will always stick with you, no matter what.
And the thing that really like kind of like, you know, was hard to wrap my head around back then was like how like it wasn't just like as soon as you're adult Link, that's it, like you're just adult Link, because that would be the easy low-hanging thing to do, just be like, well, once you're adult Link, that's it. It's like, no, you have to juggle going back in time to like, you know, open up a path so that now you can go into the future, and now that like rock area is cleared, or like you give an item to this person and like they, you know, created, I don't know, whatever it was, but like, you know, you had to like juggle between like the past and the future and like going back and forth, which was very reminiscent of my top SNES game in you know, Chrono Trigger and stuff like that. So just awesome.
I mean, that's unbelievable mark and arguably the best version of Ganon we've ever gotten. Even in the newest game, best version of Ganon still. So all right, where are we?
Number one, Jim.
My number one was the GoldenEye, as I mentioned. Multiplayer.
Okay, I'm assuming that's your number one, Mike.
Yeah, I kind of slashed it with Perfect Dark, but I'll just like GoldenEye if I have to choose one.
Yeah, I mean
that's
GoldenEye,
my number one also.
Oh, good. Okay, so multiplayer aspect, amazing. Yep. Even like the single player game with that game, I actually really enjoyed playing the single player.
No, I mean, even though I know it doesn't age well, but for a long time, even up until a few years back, I tried to play through certain levels in the single player just like once a year.
Yeah.
And I mean, it once you kind of readjust, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
But because there's all the optional objectives like in the higher difficulty settings.
I mean, the crazy part about this game is how we all played with that frame rate. Like we all just kind of like aimed ahead, knowing where we were going to float to.
Also
like,
on CRT televisions.
Yeah, like if you watch that frame rate now, it's like, how did you make a shot? But I'm like, as kids, we must have just known where that was going to go. Like you can predict where it's going to go.
Well, also just screen.
Very forgiving auto aim in this game.
Okay.
But yeah, it's like the thing, like obviously the multiplayer is the huge thing of this game, and having the 4 ports and then 64 was awesome because right out of the box, if you just get the controls, you can play it four player split screen. It introduced, like Tony said, first person shooters to the console people. Like there weren't really first person shooters before that.
Yeah.
Kind of, and the controller helped obviously with an analog stick, helped have that. But yeah, just that multiplayer. I just remember doing that so much. Like that was
hours
that
upon hours.
Yeah, a weekend is like 12 hours easy.
Friend rule of no odd jobs.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. It's just like all the special like little things and quirks you could put into the multiplayer game, like paintball mode and.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the biggest, I think, sort of like cheat games ever. Like I had the most cheats.
To say that too. Yeah, because like I loved it, like how they tied in the single player objectives. Is like that was one of the things. Like this is a game I remember like mastering, quote unquote, because it's like you beat the game, you're like, okay, let me try. What was it? Secret Agent next.
Yeah.
And then Double O Agent was the hardest or something like that.
And I played
but usually like as you increase the difficulty, like things would change. It wasn't just like enemies had more health.
No, there was
like
additional objectives.
Additional objectives, different enemy placements. I remember that fucked me up for a long time. I was like, wait, what? Like I was like, there's an extra dude here or something like that. And I was just like,
even in the first stage, like the facility, like you would go to the bottom
facility.
room.
I knew if I didn't get to Dr. Doke or whatever, I was like, no, reset. Like, just reset right away.
It's not even worth it.
That was one of the cheats was tied to getting through that like really quick, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember the other level that was like really hard to do on whatever double O difficulty was the train.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys remember that. Where like it was just you had to you couldn't stop. You just go. And if you did not kill an enemy, it's like, well, shit. I just need to keep running, kind of dodge left. Oh man, that game was amazing. And like, just it's kind of a shame that first-person shooters since then, I feel like really, I don't know, it's just like kill enemies and stuff like that. And I'm like, man, like bring back something like that where it's like objective based, like maybe you don't have to just shoot your way out, and stuff like that. And the other thing is too is not only the efficiency, but I remember getting a Game Shark for the N64 just a hack to be able to use some levels in multiplayer. I don't know if you guys ever did that, but like the game,
I did have a Game Shark and I only used it for this game, but I didn't do it for that. I just did it for all weapons and unlocking like everything because I couldn't do it on my own.
Oh man, yeah, that was the one thing is like I remember being very proud that was like when I finally got the last whatever it was hell yeah, stuff like that. But great game, amazing game.
Corey, your impressions are?
Yeah, I talked about it. It's just like, like again, just having the memories of playing multiplayer and like you guys all said, the single player game is fantastic at the time. It was one of the best licensed games.
It came out years after the movie, and I really love the movie too. And I feel like they both complement each other pretty well. Like it makes the world of the movie or the game. It makes it feel bigger.
It wasn't a cash-in, right? It wasn't a cash-in.
No.
It was just
it was a legitimate game.
And
it made you feel like, oh, you're playing this James Bond. Like all the gadgets and all the stuff were really cool.
Yeah, the weapon variety, like the mines, you had remote mines, you had proximity mines.
Oh, that's
Love
right.
using those in multiplayer. I love this. Like run around the corner, smacking on the wall. It's like
set up. Yeah, create absolute madness. But also, there's all those little details too. Like you could shoot a mine and that would blow it up. And actually, one thing that happened with me and my brother were playing in multiplayer, if you shot a RPG mid-air, it would explode there too. So there was lots of little attention
tricks and
as well.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So it was awesome. All right, GoldenEye number 1, Ocarina number 2,
Mario number 3, I think.
Mario
number 3, I think, with points. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mario number 3.
It's got to be Smash next, right?
I think Smash, yeah.
Mario Kart? Because
Smash was a 4 and a 2, and then there's two threes for Mario Kart.
Yeah, so just make them 4 and 5 then.
More Mario,
4 and whatever.
And Smash. Or Smash the Mario. I put Mario then Smash. Although Smash was a 2.
Yeah, there's a 2.
They both average out to be the same.
Yeah, Smash and then Mario Kart. So here's your 5. Number 5, Mario Kart. Number 4, Smash. Number 3, Mario 64. Number 2, Ocarina of Time. And number 1 is GoldenEye. That's our top 5 lists.
All exclusives too, which I mean not necessarily.
There was a lot of great third-party games though. There really was. Like the Madden games, the NHL games were great. But All-Star Baseball.
Like back in those days, it's like
All-Star Baseball.
The exclusives were the thing. Like that's.
I mean, Yeah.
That's where they were at. Like the third-party games for me were mostly sports games, like Madden and NHL.
I think Ken Griffey Jr. Baseball was on this, and that was awesome.
Mhm.
I played All-Star Baseball, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, that's going to wrap up 492 of the Gamecast. Thanks for tuning in. You can write us and let us know what your top 5 list is. Podcast at allyoucangeek.net. Follow us on Twitter, allyoucangeek. Like us on Facebook. If you're watching this on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button and the like button. We appreciate it. Comment below as well. Tune in next week. We'll have more topics coming your way. Stay safe. Stay healthy. See you next week.